Liverpool's tall quadruple dreams almost evaporated in their recent Champions League semi-final clash against Villarreal. Villarreal erased their 2-goal deficit within the first half of the Champions League semi-final second leg, and they look like they might pull off the upset of this season. That was until Villarreal goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli decided to have a goalkeeping disaster class, and Liverpool managed to turn the game around comfortably to book their place in the final. Jurgen Klopp wrote his name in the history books by becoming the first ever manager to guide a team to a Champions League, League Cup and FA Cup final, all in the same season. But he'll be hoping for much more history making to still be on the horizon. Liverpool are definitely tasting rare air at the moment, with the League Cup already under their belt and only a point behind first place in the Premier League. Could they really do the unthinkable and win all 4 major trophies in one season? Well, for starters, the Premier League looks to be their biggest hurdle. Although only 1 point behind Manchester City, City and Liverpool have been serial winners in the league this season, and between them, they've only lost a handful of league games all season long. What doesn't work in Liverpool's favour though, is that Manchester City have winnable fixtures to close out their season, with their match against West Ham at the London Stadium maybe being the only game where you could entertain the idea of an upset. Whereas for Liverpool, they face top 4 challengers Spurs, who are in pretty good form at the moment and definitely have the quality to make life difficult for the Reds, in a game that neither team can afford to lose at this point of the season. On top of that, after Man City bowed out of the Champions League this past week, the Premier League is their only focus left. There are no other opportunities for them to win silverware, and if they don't close out this league title, it would be very much unlike the Manchester City we've seen in the past few seasons, who are usually ruthless to close out the league season. Now with the FA Cup final, things are looking much more optimistic for Liverpool. They face a strong Chelsea side, of whom they have already edged past earlier in this season when they faced each other in the Carabao Cup final, courtesy of this Kepa Balogun. Now Liverpool may have got the result in this game, but what has been a reoccurring theme this season is that in 90 minutes, these two teams battle hard and they can't seem to outscore the other. Both of their league matchups ended in draws, and it wouldn't be a massive surprise for the FA Cup final to see a similar display. But despite this, Chelsea have been in poor form recently, dropping points in 5 of their last 7 league games in the last month. Each the teams that had all been in poor form before they had to face Chelsea, with no doubt leaving Thomas Tuchel with a selection headache in recent days. But Chelsea do have something of a historical advantage on their side actually, having beaten Liverpool in 11 of their 19 meetings in domestic cup tournament history. But interestingly, both Liverpool and Chelsea have won and lost 5 of their last 10 cup finals in club history. So at this point, it's a coin toss between which of these two teams is going to end up emerging triumphant in the FA Cup final. And it doesn't get any easier to call who will win this one either. The Champions League final, the golden opportunity to sit on the throne of European football. And both of these clubs have many successful memories of doing just that. However, Liverpool won't remember the 2018 final as fondly as their upcoming opponents Real Madrid will. It was a nightmare come to life for the Reds, as their star man Mo Salah trudged off the field early with an injury in the aftermath of a now infamous tussle with Sergio Ramos. And of course, this final is also famous for the horrendous goalkeeping errors of Loris Karius and Gareth Bale's jaw-dropping bicycle kick that led Real Madrid to their 13th Champions League triumph in their club's history. But in better news for the Reds, they did win the final of the reign next season, and they've gone leaps and bounds as a team since that 2018 final. And if Mo Salah's recent tweet is anything to go by, Liverpool are definitely up for avenging their painful defeat from back then when they faced Real Madrid in Paris. Looking at Real Madrid's league form, they have been far and away the best team in Spain this season, and they've already secured their La Liga trophy recently, meaning they have a favourable advantage over Liverpool where they can afford to rotate out their star men like Karim Benzema, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. On the other hand, Liverpool are still knee-deep in their own title race and it's likely to go down to the wire. Real Madrid's Champions League run was one for the ages. They saw off PSG, Chelsea and then Man City during the knockout rounds. But even more impressively, they came from behind at some point in each one of these ties, and they've shown that even when they look dead and buried, they always have heart and they find their way through. Not even to mention, Karim Benzema has been in the form of his life, and he's been putting in classic performances again and again, scoring hat-tricks again and again, dragging the Los Blancos to the next round of the competition again and again. The Frenchman has scored 10 goals in the knockout stages alone, and he scored in multiple of his last 5 appearances against Liverpool. But Benzema and his Real Madrid teammates won't be familiar with the Liverpool team of this current calibre. Both teams did face major injury problems last season, but Real saw off Liverpool comfortably when they met in last season's quarter-finals. But this time around, with the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip and Thiago all fit and in exquisite form this campaign, Real won't be expecting to roll over this Liverpool team so easily once again. In all likelihood, there is no clear favourite going into this final, but one thing is for sure, Real Madrid are the kings of this competition, and history has shown them favour more times than any other club in this glorious competition. To conclude, Liverpool are undoubtedly capable of outlasting either one of these teams one-on-one in each of the remaining competitions. Although all 3 teams are very, very strong, and Liverpool having the legs to clash with all of these teams and not get burnt out is difficult to imagine. Needless to say, they are also attempting to achieve something that has never been done before, and most likely with good reason. But you know what? History is meant to be written. Liverpool have already gotten so close to being able to win all of these trophies in such a short span of time that there's not much reason to question the team's admirable mentality and durability. With a brilliant manager and a selection of world-class players across their squad, believe it or not, they have a good chance to beat all the odds. Unfortunately for them, I feel like Manchester City are likely to win all their remaining Premier League games, regardless of what Liverpool do in theirs. And at that point, it would mean that Liverpool would in fact just about miss out on the quadruple. But I still feel like Liverpool in a one-off game where the stakes are the highest are such a dangerous team, especially if they are spurred on from just missing out on the Premier League. So I predict they will actually beat both Chelsea and Real Madrid in their upcoming finals and still cap off a season to remember by winning the treble.